Hello fellow old schoolers, welcome to the channel and welcome to this match between the Tropical Twister and a mono blue aggro archetype. And after this game there's a bonus match I've just put in there because there was only a single round recorded of that particular match, and that was between the Tropical Twister and the Forest Tricks deck we have seen earlier on the channel. I mean, why not, right? It's just more old school matches for us all to enjoy. And these games are all from the tournament of Dominia Day, the qualification rounds. So this is the blue aggro deck. And we have a bunch of merfolks here, Lord of Atlantis, merfolk of the Pearl Trident, and a merfolk assassin, and a full playset of Serendipity Freaks, and full playset of Dance of Many. They function sort of like a clone, but they provide a token instead, and they require a double blue mana in their upkeep or they get destroyed. There's also 4 Dandans here, a very aggressive creature, 4/1 creatures that requires that your opponent has islands, otherwise it can't attack. It's a big fish after all. And there's also the legendary Leviathan here. It's a 10/10 trample creature, and I don't think we'll ever see it played. I do hope we will, but it's there in order for this deck to gather some more points in the sub-tournaments here. So he's competing for highest placed monocolored and highest placed with the biggest creature. And there are no bigger creatures than the Leviathan in this format. So yeah, the Tropical Twister has elected to keep his brew a secret for now. He tweaks it all the time. But there's a match between my own 4-color Dead Guy Ale and his deck on this channel that you can watch if you want to learn a bit more of how it functions. It's a blue control homebrew deck, blue and green. So let's get it on. This is round 1, and we have the Tropical Twister on the left here, starting out with a fast bond and a bunch of lands. Oh, and a mana drain. Okay, 3 land drops, Strip Mine, Factory and an island. And only a single island on the aggro deck side. He doesn't play any power, so he's actually competing for highest placed non-powered as well, the blue aggro deck. Taking a punch from that Factory, and there's a Diamond Valley coming out. But the Tropical Twister has taken a bunch of damage from that fast bond, though he has exploded all over the table at this point. Okay, that's a Dandan, 4/1 creature. It gets mana drained immediately. So now the Tropical Twister has even more mana. He plays for the single Mahamotigen, I know. Okay, he regrowths the mana drain, most likely. That's the only card in there. So he can counter again, but he couldn't use any of all that colorless mana. He can attack with the Factory though. Chooses not to, passes a turn. And there's the Chaos Orb coming out from the mono blue aggro deck, getting mana drained again. And he uses one of the manas. No, he pays to attack. That's odd. Didn't he play a mana drain before? Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's a merfolk assassin. He can tap to destroy a creature with Island Walk. But that's Serendipity Freak there. Yeah. This is 3/4 flyer, but no Island Walk, and can't really be blocked. There's another merfolk. It's an entire army here. That's a merfolk of that's their boss. So now they all have +1/+1 and Island Walk. Total merfolk opening here. That's pretty rad. He can't block any of them because of those islands. So it's actually it's a nice matchup for the mono blue deck here because there are so many islands on the Tropical Twister's side. Okay, he flies over and attacks. He can't really attack with the Factory because there's a 2/2 merfolk of the Pearl Trident waiting for him. There's that Dance of Many. Most likely copies his Lord of Atlantis here, so now they're even bigger, 3/3 and 3/4 merfolks, and the Lord of Atlantis is 3/3. Bunch of huge creatures here. It's like a crusade, a blue crusade with inside that creature. So he attacks again, but yeah, they all have Island Walk. It's horrible for the Tropical Twister. He had such an explosive start, but yeah, that's it. That's game. That's round number 1. Too much blue hate. Those Merfolks could just sneak in at that island. This is round number 2. Both players starting off rather meekly here with a single island. Second island coming down. This one is a tropical island. There's that Chaos Orb again, getting power synced. There's a lot of counter spells in the Tropical Twister deck. It needs to survive the early game, and then it can get control with Amnesias, and sometimes it uses Stormseekers instead to burn the other guy out. Anyway, that Serendipity Freed got countered, and there's a Sylvan Library. And the creatures just keep pouring out. There's a Dandan and a Lord of Atlantis again. Lord of Atlantis getting countered. So he needs to read in that Sylvan Library, trying to find some solution to that Dandan. There's one. That's a Maze of Ith. And a wall of ice. I believe that's a 0/5 green wall here. 0/6 actually. Yeah. So it can block a Jusumgen or a Juggernaut. Okay, 2 Dance of Many here. So there are 3 Dandans, but that's a lot of upkeep actually. Needs to pay 2 islands. Oh, and he's Sinkhole. Ice Storm's one of them. That can't pay for it then. Excellent play. So there's only a single Dandan out. And they can't get in now because there's a Maze of Ith and that huge wall of ice blocking his way. Reading more in the Sylvan Library. He could use a Serendipity Freed now, just to go on the offensive, but his defenses are pretty stable at this point. Okay, he pays 4 life to keep a card, playing a Maze of Ith and a Sol Ring. I imagine he judges himself to be rather secure behind that wall and 2 Mazes of Ith, so he can just try to get card advantage, burn some life for that. Another Dandan coming out though. So they're at parity. He can't get in yet. Okay, let's see here. Okay, casting Amnesia. Okay, getting rid of an Energy Flux. That was a pretty useless card actually. Drew an island, nothing. Okay, so we need a Mahamoti-Jin. The Tropical Twister plays with the Mahamoti-Jin. It would be pretty nifty to get out at this point. And we saw he didn't play with any... he pays 4 life for another card. He didn't play with any counter magic. The blue aggro deck, so he can't get his stuff out. There's a Library of Alexandria on the side of the Tropical Twister. Okay, so now he attacks with 2 Dandans and a Merfolk Assassin. And the token, that's another Dandan. So the wall blocks a Dandan and the mazes. The 2 other fish gets lost in the underwater maze. So it takes a single point of damage from the assassin. At 11 life, he has taken a lot of damage from that Sylvan Library. That's a drop of honey. That's pretty cool. He attacks again, blocks, taking a single point of damage. Oh, and he tries to kill the Merfolk Assassin, but the wall has even less power, and the drop of honey kills the creature with the lowest power because it can't really fight its way out of the drop of honey. And a static wall, well, it's pretty useless against this glob of honey. So yeah, he's eating up his defenses here. That's not what he need. Next round, hopefully he can get rid of a single creature of his opponents. Okay, so he spell blasts the Merfolk, and then he takes a bunch of damage. He's getting overrun here. Okay, so at his upkeep, the Merfolk Assassin dies. Next up, Dandan will die. Oh, and okay, there's an Energy Flux. I didn't see that, but he plays a Serendipity Freed for a blocker. I think he's at 4 or 5 life at this point. Oh my god, that's a 4th Dandan here. And the Serendipity Freed dies because the Dandans has higher toughness. They're actually a great creature against the drop of honey. I think the drop of honey has done more damage to the tropical twister than the other side, removing a serendipity freed on a wall just for killing a single merfolk assassin. Yeah, how will he get out of this? Oh, that's a beautiful beta Mahmoutidian. More creatures coming out of the mono blue deck. Yeah, it's just overrunning him. Okay, a quick game here. And a solid victory for the merfolk deck, or the mono blue aggro deck. Tropical Twister couldn't really do anything. His primary source of removal is those drop of honeys, and they don't really work against Dandans. So there's some sideboard options here. I think, yeah, that's all the stuff he got in. Sunken Cities, Force Spike, Energy Fluxes. It's funny that he put in 3 Energy Flux. Anyway, there's a quick bonus game here with the Tropical Twister against the Forest Tricks deck, and we have seen the Forest Trick deck before. I've played it, and it has also played against the Lure of the Land in the 2 previous recordings. So let's take a single round of that matchup. And the Tropical Twister mulligans down to 5 cards here. That's not good. And the Forest Tricks deck is actually very, very strong. It has been dominating the qualification rounds until this. So a Tropical Twister will have its work cut out for it. But at least not all those island walking creatures that we saw in the previous game. Birds of Paradise, another land drop. And ice storming the island. That's pretty mean when he has such few cards in his hand. He can't have that much mana. Because his mulligan that has a strip mine. Brutal. Okay, he top decks a forest. Gets out an Asna's altar. Tropical Twist is like a sushi. It plays with a lot of robots like Triskelions and Sushis. That's a drop of honey though. That's pretty nifty. We'll get rid of all those creatures. Bird and Sushi, but there's a couple of rounds until the Sushi will get swallowed by the drop. The bird will take the first hit. Yeah, but the Forest Tricks deck is a combo deck that uses living planes to combo off. And it also has various different aggro elements and mid-range elements and other combo pieces. Here's the Sushi coming over. Both of these decks are actually secret texts. We haven't seen any deck pictures of them. Fireballing him. Okay. He has a Chaos Orb though, but yeah, there goes a drop of honey. We're getting rid of that Sushi. It's a slow working removal card, but it works wonders if he has all those Mazes of Ith on the side of the Tropical Twister, but he doesn't have any. All the mazes are in the hands of the Forest Tricks deck here. You see, Tropical Twister has taken a bunch of damage, but he survives. He survived through that drop of honey there. Now he needs to draw into some draw power. He doesn't even have a second blue mana source out, so he can't really use counter magic. But he does play with power sinks and spell blasts. Okay, still no mana. He did draw a spell blast there though. Both players are in a bit of a dry spell here. Can't really seem to hit anything. Okay, there might be a Sushi now. No. 4 mana. Okay, drew a factory there. I think there's a living land, a living plane on the hand of the Tropical Twister there. I don't know if he should play it, as the Forest Tricks deck uses that card to combo off with the Triskelions. Is that an Ice Storm coming up, perhaps? Both players take a bunch of... Yeah, that's an Ice Storm, taking out the BU. Okay, probably to try and crack him out of black mana so he can't Mind Twist or Tutor. But the Tropical Twister can't really... he can't counter now, so I suppose this is now or never. Okay, crumpling the... Okay, so netting the Tropical Twister a couple of life points there. What's that? Is that a... I can't really see. Oh, it's a recall. Okay. Okay, he recalls an island. That's an act of pure desperation, but I think it's a fine play. Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and try to stabilize your mana, and you can't really get anywhere without at least a double blue mana source here. He's going for the long game. That's why he took out the Bayou instead of taking out a Maze of Ith with the Ice Storm. And the Tropical Twister can only win in the late game. Oh, that's mean. He plays with a main deck, City in a Bottle, and yeah, no more Drop of Honeys, no library, and no Serendipity Freaks either on the for the Tropical Twister. I don't know if he plays with the Crumbles, the Tropical Twister, if he can remove that City in a Bottle if it ever gets out. Okay, so Force Trick Sick is finally going on the offensive here, it seems. No? Okay, what a waiting game here. 2 factories on the Tropical Twister deck here. So Badlands. He's really pondering something, the Force Tricks deck here. So we're cutting a bit forward, passing the turn. He's waiting for something. Perhaps he's waiting to play the Triskelion. He can play any creatures now because that City in a Bottle will keep the Drop of Honey at bay. Cutting a bit forward again. He's really thorough in his plays. Okay, here's the sushi coming out. I think that's a valid play. But yeah, it gets spell blasted out. So much for that. Perhaps that was the reason why he waited for so long, that he didn't know if he should, if it would get countered. But yeah, the Tropical Twister, if it's untapped, it has, and a semi-full hand like this, it's bound to have some sort of counterspell. Some pretty unorthodox brews here. Okay, passing the turn back to the Force Tricks deck here. Putting out a Mana Vault. Yeah, passing the turn back. There's a 3rd factory, so now next turn he can get in. But if he does though, he can't really counter anymore. And there's a blocking factory, so never mind that. This is a complete standstill here. Both players really thinking on how to break through, I suppose. Find a chink in the other guy's armor. Forward here again. No. Okay, he passes the turn as a tropical island, passing the turn back. Okay, that's a living lands coming out. So now all lands are 1/1 creatures, and they have summoning sickness, so they can't tap for mana in the first turn. But he won't allow it. It gets countered, and that makes sense. I mean, it doesn't have that much life. And the Force Tricks deck, he has all sorts of burn spells like pyrotechnics, fireballs, stuff like that, and also Triskelions in order to shoot up lands after the living plane has gone out. Okay, so Force Tricks plays a forest and putting out another living lands and another counterspell. He hasn't paid for the living lands yet. He should pay for it before he plays it, actually. Okay, but it got counted. Okay, there's a Triskelion. He tried to get that combo out, trying to bait all the counter magic. I guess that's why it took so long. And then after the living lands, he could get out the Triskelion and just start shooting up the factories. Or all the islands. Something like that. Okay, so at the end step he crumbles the... Oh yeah, he crumbles the City in the Bottle. That's a good thing that he plays with those crumbles. I wasn't sure he did that because I don't think he had them in our game. So good for him. What's that? Brain Guys. Okay, he's going in now. 6 cards. Okay, that's an all-in play. Nice. He's tapped out though. That's actually pretty risky because the Triskelion can get in for 4 damage and then shoot him up afterwards. So that's 7 damage right there. And I don't know if he has any burn in hand, but you could follow up with a huge fireball, for example. I think that's very, very risky. He should have kept a factory untapped and something to activate it. But let's see if this is true. Oh, he has a factory he can attack with as well. That's 9 points of damage just there. Okay, coming in for 4. Okay, what's he doing now? He also attacked with, yeah, that's what I talked about. Okay, I hadn't seen this game before that, but yeah, that was a pretty close prediction. Getting in with a Triskelion, shooting him up, and then just burning him out afterwards. It was a mistake to tap out on the Tropical Twister's part, I think. But if he had ever got an untapped phase, he would be armed to the teeth there. So yeah, that was a very slow-paced game and a lot of considerations. And when the final play happened, it went fast though. So thank you for watching these series of games with a Tropical Twister. I'm sorry for the owner of that. These were what were recorded from this tournament, and we just saw him getting punched a couple of times here by some random chance of the videos. So yeah, it happens. Next up, I think we're slowly approaching the top 8 of this tournament. There might be more games, including me as well. We'll see what's on the SD card. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.